It always begins high above the world. For Starfire, known also as Coriander of Tamarin, space is not just a void, it's a memory, an old hurt, and a battleground she keeps returning to. The Saiyans know this feeling too, though for them space is more laboratory than crucible. Cold, endless, and indifferent, unless you are the one holding the scalpel. Before the fight, for there will be a fight, there is a story. Starfire, a warrior and a fugitive, burst onto Earth's scene with the Titans. Her radiant energy a stark contrast to the world she fled. The Saiyans, on the other hand, have lurked in the shadows of the Vega system for centuries, poring over their calculations, running experiment after experiment, always seeking something just out of reach, empathy, power, perhaps both. Mostly, what they find is new ways to make others suffer. Their paths were always destined to cross again. Because every story with Starfire circles back, inexorably, to Tamarin and the pain the Saiyans inflicted on her. She remembers the steel tables, the invasive instruments, and the pain their attempt to weaponize the very solar energy coursing through her body. Instead, they unlocked something they could not control. They would learn this lesson again. Reports surface among the Vega system's ragtag communities. A Scion dreadnought is in orbit near one of Tamarin's old outposts, harvesting genetic data. Rebel informants leak word to Coriandra, half in hope she'll respond, and half in fear of what will happen if she does. She always responds. There's no fleet at her back. She's alone, streaking across the void in a trail of searing ultraviolet energy. She has no element of surprise. The Saiyans monitor lots of things, and one of them is electromagnetic signatures that don't belong in their quadrant. They lock onto her approach within seconds. The dreadnought is not subtle, a city of metal, bristling with cannons and containment fields. Starfire's initial blast punches through the docking bay, starbolt that rips the doors apart and sends tech scrambling. The Saiyans greet her as they have learned to do, with cold calculation, not fear. As she stands, golden and unyielding at the corridor's mouth, they activate force fields, they prime scalpels and sedative guns. This time, they assure themselves they know what to expect. She's alone, limited. But the thing about Starfire is that you cannot. Measure her limits as you would a sample in a test tube. Their leader, a thin-lipped researcher named Shriven, delivers the mandatory speech, analyzing her anomaly, refining her energy, leveraging her for a breakthrough in their quest for biological dominion. Standard threats. He refers to her as subject rather than by any name. Starfire knows this song. Instead of answering, she launches herself straight through the containment field, trusting her instincts and rage to do what schematics say is impossible. The field bends and warps, dispersing under her concentrated heat. The Saiyans open fire, energy nets sparkling across the corridor, dozens of tranquilizer darts streaking through the air. She absorbs their fire and returns it in kind, starbolts searing with the force of captured suns. One burst melts a bank of servers, another vaporizes a gun emplacement. The Saiyans scatter, rearrange, try to hem her in with gravity traps. They calculate her trajectory, predict her energy output, throw every trick they cataloged since their last humiliating failure. But some data only teaches you how high the cost can be. One Scion, desperate, initiates a system overload, hoping to knock her unconscious by detonating the corridor's power grid. The explosion rocks the dreadnought. Starfire, caught in the heart of the blast, emerges through smoke with a look that no instrument ever captured. Not pain, but defiance. It is then that Shriven realizes what separates their cold curiosity from her living flame. She is change. They are repetition. He flees to the escape pod bay. One final surge of energy explodes from Starfire, magnified, focused, and far fiercer than memory. It tears through bulkheads and disables the ship's engines. Emergency klaxons wail as the dreadnought lists, powerless in the currents of space. The surviving Scions scatter, abandoning their research, their samples, their equilibrium. Starfire exits the wreckage the same way she entered, alone, burning, bearing scars both physical and unseen. The Scions will regrow their numbers. They always do. But in the annals of the Vega system, let it be recorded. When science seeks to enslave, there will always be resistance in the form of a woman made of fire whose strength cannot be measured in any laboratory. And so, another chapter closes, not with peace, but with warning. For every experiment, there is an uncontrollable element. For every victim, there is a reckoning. And for Starfire and the Saiyans, this dance is far from over.